If your classic VW feels sketchy, even though it's been restored, rebuilt, aligned, has all brand new parts, this video is for you. Because most of the VWs we see that just don't feel right aren't really dangerous. They're assembled with parts that were never designed to work together at your intended ride height. Let me show you what's actually going on. Here's the problem. Most classic VWs don't feel sketchy because they're old. They feel sketchy because they've been worked on in isolation. A beam gets rebuilt, new spindles go on, new shocks, maybe it even gets aligned. But nobody stops to ask the simple question: do these parts actually work together at the angles and at the ride height the car is now at? What we see all the time are brand new components fighting each other. Ball joints at the edge of their travel, shocks operating outside their usable range, even steering boxes compensating for geometry problems they were never designed to fix. And the result isn't catastrophic failure. It's a car that never feels confident. If you've ever driven your VW and thought, this should feel better than it does, you're not alone, you're not crazy, you're just missing the system level view. So before you throw more parts at it, there are 3 things you need to check first, and almost nobody does. Number 1, operating angle. Not whether the part is new, but where it's actually working. When a car is lowered, ball joints, tie rods, and steering components start living at the edge of their designed range. The part might be brand new, but if it's operating near bind or outside its quote-unquote happy zone, the car will never feel stable. This is one of the biggest reasons alignment alone doesn't fix anything. Number 2, geometry. Every change you make, beam, spindles, wheels, brakes, affects everything else. Individually, each part makes sense. Together, they create steering inputs that feel vague, delayed, or even unpredictable. This is where cars start wandering, overcorrecting, or just feeling nervous at speed, even though nothing is technically broken. Number 3 is hidden wear. Inside the beam, inside the arms, inside the interfaces nobody looks at anymore, there's wear that doesn't show up on the outside. Those small tolerances stack up, and the driver feels it long before anyone can point to a single failed part. This is why 2 cars with the same parts can drive completely different. If one of these is off, the car doesn't feel dangerous, it just never feels right. And that's usually the signal that something in the system needs to be looked at together, not individually. And if you're not sure which of those is affecting your car, that's where diagnosis actually matters. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, yeah, that sounds exactly like my VW, you don't have to guess your way through it. The pros put together a simple diagnosis page where you can tell us how your VW is set up and what you're experiencing. This is not a quote request. This is not a sales tactic. It just helps us look at your setup as a system and point you towards the next right step. If you want clarity before throwing more parts at it, there's a link in the description and in the comments. At the end of the day, a classic VW shouldn't feel sketchy or uncertain, even when it's been modified. When everything is working together the way it should, these cars are actually predictable, comfortable, and even and especially enjoyable to drive. Getting there just starts with understanding the system you already have.